You've probably seen clothing haul YouTube videos from all of the major brands like Zara, H&M, and ASOS. But more recently, a major Chinese competitor has given a new meaning to the fast fashion industry. Shein offer clothing at insanely low prices, targeting primarily young women who are conscious of cost and keeping up with fashion trends. $3 miniskirts, $15 blouses, the clothes are almost impossibly cheap, which begs the question of how can Shein be making any money, and how bad is this super fast fashion for the environment? Investors don't seem to care though, as Shein was recently valued at $100 billion, becoming the third most valuable startup behind ByteDance and SpaceX, in spite of accusations that Shein actually copies its biggest rival's clothing. Shein presents itself perfectly online, creating the illusion that they sell the highest quality at the lowest price. But once you lift the lid, the ugly side of Shein is exposed quite quickly. Investors, however, seem to have shut their eyes, ignoring the malpractice within the business and the short-sighted nature of a company that relies on overconsumption. But what is Shein, and how was Shein started? Here's how it happened. Founded in 2008, Shein is a B2C super-fast Chinese fashion brand that sells everything. And when I say everything, they have over 600,000 items on their store. Shein operates an on-demand business model, manufacturing clothing in small batches and producing more of any item that flies off the shelf. Operating on a rumored $10 billion in revenues in 2020, Shein then raised money at a $100 billion valuation, becoming more valuable than Inditex and H&M combined. It also overtook Amazon as the most downloaded app in the USA, and Shein has no physical stores, purely a website that pulls in shoppers with their crazy social media following, leveraging the selling power of social media influencers. Based out of a factory in Guangzhou, China, Shein ships to over 200 countries, with the US being its principal market. Shein was originally thought up in 2008 by Chris Zhu, the founder and CEO. His background was as an SEO specialist, but after understanding the value of Chinese products internationally, he set up his own website to sell wedding dresses to an English-speaking audience before branching out into women's clothing and changing his branding to Sheinside. By 2013, Sheinside had 100 employees, becoming Shein in 2015 to make the name easier to remember as a fully integrated business with its own supply chain system, and by 2016 the business was employing 800 people. Today, Shein handles millions of visitors on its website, with over 600,000 products available to buy, and it's increased sales by 100% or more for the last 7 years in a row, expanding into 220 countries around the world and selling everything you can think of. Shein has undoubtedly been successful, rising to a massive valuation and consistently growing revenues. But how has Shein become so successful? Well, firstly, the prices are super cheap, with clothing prices between $5 and $15 on average. Then there's the crazy amount of choice, with 600,000 items to choose from, working with third-party suppliers to develop in-demand clothing. Once they determine something is in demand, they order thousands of units and cancel underperforming items. Next, and possibly most importantly, Shein has an army of followers, influencers, and shoppers online. With over 250 million followers across Shein social media, the business has been successful using showbiz stars to promote the brand, with mostly unsponsored Shein hauls all over TikTok and YouTube encouraging people to buy. It's funny that given Shein's success in the Western world, it's largely unknown in China. This is because Shein takes advantage of B2C export benefits, meaning it pays little tax to ship their goods around the world, which other companies simply cannot do. As we said earlier, Shein is a bit of an illusion. From the outside, it looks like a clean, high-growth business. However, there's no contact information on the website and no shops, so the company comes across as quite opaque, with digital influencers almost being the face of the brand. Whilst Shein products come across well on their website, the reality is quite different, with poor quality items being shipped with obvious flaws and imperfections, sometimes looking like they've been sent from a fraudulent business. With poor quality fabrics being used, it's no surprise that many items are ordered and subsequently returned, which therefore increases the detrimental impact that Shein has on the environment, with the fashion industry already accounting for 8% of global carbon emissions. Then take polyester fabrics that Shein use, which require more oil and coal to manufacture, and they don't biodegrade like natural materials do. The quality of the clothing then means that even if someone does keep their dress, top, jeans, or jumper, it might be discarded just a few weeks later, straight to the landfill. Those items are also often copycats of other brands, with Shein employing teams of designers to copy best-selling items from their competitors. Some of those items are blatant rip-offs, but
it's a knockoff of my silk lace cami to the T. It's exactly the same, and they're selling it for $10, and it just blows my mind that Shein just gets off the hook all the time for just copying small designers. And this is the original design.
Something that we should be paying more attention to, however, is the labor issue, which shows that not only does Shein discriminate when hiring, not allowing people from certain ethnic backgrounds to apply, but they also make staff work 75 hours a week, encouraging workers to make more clothing because they're paid per item. Shein's vision statement says they aim to provide the highest value trendy pieces whilst also being dedicated to quality, value and service. But their race to the bottom pricing structure means that Shein have only accelerated the fast fashion world, forcing competitors to react. This may be good for the industry and good for consumers' wallets, but at what cost to the workers and the environment? And that's how it happened.